get on here and post a little bonus video today because, first of all, it kind of got brought up to me by a couple of our athletes, just talking to them and problems that they're having, things that they're thinking about, asking them questions about how they are adapting to this new kind of lifestyle, temporary lifestyle right now, and some of the advice that I gave them. So I wanted to kind of relay this to everyone else who watches the videos. So without further ado, here are 4 tips that you guys can all take into consideration so that you guys can have an edge come sports season in the fall. So the very first one is, how should I prioritize my training? This isn't really for the athletes who have the weight room or the athletes that have weights available to them. You guys are going to still follow the same program I had you guys on, and you guys will be perfectly fine. For everyone else, and it's probably the majority of people who don't have access to weights or a bench or a squat rack or anything like that, this is going to be more directed towards you guys. How should you prioritize your training? Well, no matter what we're in, doesn't matter if we're in school, if we're in the summer, doesn't matter if we're in the winter, we need to prioritize speed. And speed is max sprinting, so sprinting as fast as you possibly can with a distance of about 20 to 30 meters with full recovery, and that's always going to be about 3 minutes for us right now. And you probably do about 4 to 5 sets of that. What you're doing when you do sprint work is, first of all, it's the best strength exercise for you, period. I don't care about squat. I don't care about deadlift. Sprinting is the best strength exercise for you. It's the most intense thing you can do for your central nervous system, which is going to cause the most adaptations for you. So that's number 1. Number 2 is speed has never hurt anybody, right? I've never seen an athlete get docked or not been able to play because he was too fast. However, I have seen athletes get docked or not be able to play because they're too slow. So with that being said, if you are an athlete that is trying to be as active as you possibly can, and you're trying to stay in shape, and you're trying to do all these things, there is a right way to go about being in shape for football or your fall sport, and there is a not so right way. And the not so right way would be running long distance, right? So if you're an athlete that is running 1 to 2 miles every day, thinking that's what's going to get you in shape for football, you're going to get in shape 100%. But I don't know if I know it's not going to translate to football the way that we want it to, right? Jogging 2 miles is not the same as sprinting for about 5 to 6 seconds and resting for 30 seconds and then doing it again, right? So whatever sport you're playing, whatever your typical work to rest ratio is in that sport, you should try and model your conditioning after that. So for our athletes, we try and do metabolic finishers where they're about 5 to 8 minutes long. You're gonna be at max intensity. You're trying to move fast. You're trying to maintain a pace for that 8 minutes. But it involves rest periods in between, whether that's transitioning to another movement, whether that is a kind of a rest working station where you might be doing a less intense exercise, things like that, that's going to translate to the football field rather than going out and running 2 miles. We're not the cross country team, right? So we want to train in a way that's going to benefit us on the field. So number 1 is you want to prioritize speed. Number 2 is you do not want to condition in a way that's just going to make you slower, right? Running 2 miles every day, you're pacing and conditioning your body to jog, right? That's 2 conflicting theories. If you're doing speed work and you're running 2 miles a day, those 2 things are going to conflict, and it's not going to benefit you the way you want it to, okay? Another couple things to think about. Don't freak out that you don't have access to the weight room, because strength typically leaves the body or it starts diminishing within 30 days, right? So you got about 30 days that you're going to retain all the strength you had, or most of it, before it starts to diminish. And that's if you did nothing, right? However, speed diminishes in 5 days is all you have. So if you don't do any speed work or you're not really prioritizing speed work, you could be diminishing that return that you're looking for when it comes to speed training. So with that being said, I post all the body weight strength exercises to do. I promise you, just because they're body weight, they're not easy. I do them myself. The time under tension is brutal, and it can really, really create some strength in some different areas than a barbell could or deadlifts can or things like that. You're going to create a lot of strength under that time under tension using those different philosophies. And then on top of that, you're doing your speed work. So like I said, prioritize your speed, and then also model your conditioning if you're doing it at all. About this time of year, we don't really do any conditioning anyways, but if you're going to do conditioning, model it after your sport. So the second thing that kind of goes along with how should you prioritize your training is doing mobility every single day. Whether you wake up and you do it in the morning or you do it after the workout, if you stop and think about how all of us really are living right now, it's in front of a TV screen, it's in front of a video game, we're laying down, we're sleeping in, we're going to bed late. It's a very bad way to live if you're trying to be an athlete, right? Think about your posture. I bet you if you catch yourself this week, you're going to see that your posture right now, if you're sitting there watching TV, shoulders are rolled forward, you're probably sitting on a chair, so your hip flexors are being shortened. We're not using our glutes as much as we would if we were in the school day where you're standing up, walking around, stepping up stairs, things like that. So think about how your body is kind of almost like being shaped into this fetal position type posture, right? So we want to completely redo that, right? Or at least combat it so that it's nullified. So how can you do that? Well, first of all, exercise is a great way to do it. I post videos every single day. You guys can follow those videos. Guys can follow different videos. YouTube has a plenty of resources. It doesn't matter, but get your exercise in. Second thing is do your mobility every single day. There is no situation where doing mobility is going to hurt you. But what will hurt you is if your hip flexors are short and your hamstrings are elongated because you've been sitting in front of a TV screen all day and now you have pulled hamstrings, pulled hip flexors. Your body can't handle the forces that's being applied on it because you're moving outside of that range of motion that you've been sitting in for over a month. Right? So doing the mobility is going to open up that range of motion for you, and then doing the exercise on top of that, you're going to start putting force on your body they can handle, and then by the time you get into the football season, you're ready to do that, right? So like I said, mobility is never hurt anybody. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to help you breathe better. It's going to help you move better. And like we've all talked about with my athletes before, mobility helps you get the most out of that stretch reflex when you're running, and stretch reflex helps you sprint faster. So there's no reason why you wouldn't want to do mobility. Do it every day. Schedule it though, in the morning, after the workout, or at night. If you want to do it one time a day, that's awesome. If you want to do it 2 times a day, even better. But don't not do mobility. So as far as eating goes, I think that it's a kind of a difficult situation. It's not just as simple as, well, I want to gain weight or I want to lose weight, because everything's off right now, right? The normal assumptions that we can make for our high schoolers or our athletes aren't the same anymore because everyone's different right now. And someone could be staying up until 4 a.m. and not waking up until noon, and they're going to bed and they're just sitting in front of a TV screen and they're not moving. So their caloric needs are probably really close to their BMR, right? So, which is very little. Instead of it being you need calories to take into account for exercise, moving around, waking up, being conscious earlier in the day and for longer in the day, going to the 6-hour fitness class, then going to practice afterwards. We're just not as active, and we can't be as active as we were when we were in school. So when you're eating, take that in consideration. I don't know the exact right number for you guys because it's all different, but what I am saying is get yourself on an eating schedule. Don't eat because you're bored. Don't eat when you're playing video games or watching TV. Set yourself on a schedule and make sure you're eating quality, nutrient-dense food. That's easy, right? I don't have to be a nutritionist or a dietitian to recommend that. The same stuff, our red meats, our fish, our chicken, our vegetables, our fruits, all those things are fair play right now. Just make sure you're scheduling it in your day. I'm not saying you can't have a snack. I'm not saying you can't have brownies or ice cream every once in a while, but let's not eat potato chips every single day and hot Cheetos and wake up and eat pancakes every morning and think that we're going to be ready to go play in the fall. And I had a couple questions with our athletes on well, I really wanted to gain weight. Well, the fact of the matter is this: if you don't have access to the weight room like we normally would, and you're not as active and you're not eating as many calories, you're probably not going to you're probably not going to gain weight at all, or B, you're going to start losing some weight, which at the end of the day, you can't help it, okay? But if I had to take an athlete who weighed 200 pounds, but maybe had a little bit extra on him because all he was worried about was how much he weighed before football season or whatever sport, as opposed to taking an athlete who was about 185 pounds, who watched what he was eating, prioritized speed, did his mobility, so he was fast, he was lean, and he could move, give me that 185, right? We can, at colleges or whoever you're looking at, can put on the weight after all this. We're in a special circumstance, but don't hurt yourself by overeating just to reach some arbitrary number of weight, and then you are not able to move on the field the way you want to, right? Speed, lean, and be able to move, okay? That's all you need to worry about. Make sure you're staying disciplined. Okay, so how you can achieve all three of those things, it comes with our fourth tip, is how you should be scheduling your day, right? What time are you waking up? What time are you going to bed? What time are you eating? What time are you exercising? What time are you doing mobility, right? All five of those things, and I'm sure there's more, play into how successful you're going to be. Schedule your day, set an alarm, set a timer on your phone, or know what times you're going to eat in the day, know what times you're going to work out. Keep it the same every day. Don't guess, right? If you're playing a video game at 11:50 and you work out at noon, okay, guys, I'm going to get off. I got to do my workout at noon. Boom, you do your workout, do your mobility. You can go back to playing video games or whatever it is. So I really, really, really strongly recommend that parents, athletes, get everyone on a schedule. I know there's nothing to do, right? I know it. There's nothing to do right now. You guys are all probably sitting at home, kind of bored. You can't go to your friend's house. You're just playing video games. But at some point, you're going to get out of this, right? And you're going to have to answer for the choices you made for about a month and a half, right? And you want to be one of the athletes, one of the very few athletes, mind you, that are prioritizing speed, eating the right way, doing mobility every day, and scheduling their day. Right? Think about the edge you're going to have over the athletes who don't do this. There's probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of athletes in the country and in the state that are waking up at noon or 1 p.m., right? And going to bed really, really late, not working out, not doing mobility. And then in a couple months, they're going to be asked to go play on the football field or whatever sport you're playing, and they're not going to be ready, and you are. So take that into consideration. Sit down tomorrow. Tomorrow's a great day to do it. Sunday's going to be nice. Sit down tomorrow and kind of plan your week out and let me know how that goes. Okay, so there's your 4 tips. I hope you guys find it useful. Please let me know how that goes. Let me know what your schedule looks like so maybe I can help you out or give you a thumbs up, or I just want to see how you guys are scheduling your days. All these things are going to help us not only be able to compete in the fall, but think about the athletes who don't do these things. Their risk injury, or their chances of getting injured are going to skyrocket come the fall. You can't take an athlete who is doing nothing for a long period of time, or just playing video games or sitting in bed or whatever it is, with poor posture, eating potato chips, not exercising, right? And then he's going to be asked to go play in the football field. Well, his injury risk is going to go through the roof. Right? But the athletes who are ready to play, they do the mobility, they prioritize speed, they eat correctly, they schedule their day, they're going to be ready to go, period. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to be itching to go. And their bodies are going to be able to handle what's going to happen on the field, the court, whatever, much better than the athletes who don't. So with that being said, I hope you guys find this information useful. Please share it with anyone who could use it. I know there's more athletes than just our own Davison athletes that could use this. It's my goal that hopefully everyone, by the time the season rolls around, they're ready to rock and roll and they're ready to play. So I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday.